Wonderful study here showing that medical cannabis is very effective at reducing opioid addiction, drug addiction recovery, non-psychoactive cannabinoids, CBD, according to National Institute on Drug Abuse study and research here, shows that CBD may enable drug addiction recovery. And certainly CBD has been shown by this recent study to reduce methamphetamine addiction in rats. So certainly this is a great avenue for us in terms of drug addiction and drug addiction recovery. CBD usage also reduces prescription drug usage, according to this nice bit of research by New Frontier Data. So New Frontier was looking at patients who were coming into the CBD market and finding that the average patient starting a course of therapy with CBD is on about 2.8 pharmaceutical pills per day. After 3 to 4 months, they're all of a sudden down to about 0.7 pills per day. So tremendous dislocations are happening around the globe in the pharmaceutical, health, and wellness industry. We couldn't be more excited to be in this industry, in this space at this time, as people all over the world are seeing these tremendous benefits. I mean, certainly this is not being lost on the pharmaceutical community. Certainly nice research here showing how medical marijuana alters brain connections to relieve pain. It certainly seems to interfere with some of the brain's feedback mechanisms, this feedback loop, and the best combination of THC and CBD seems to be superior to just THC alone. So certainly we see a big place in terms of chronic pain management. Now, in terms of just some interesting tidbits and facts, of course, those of us who are runners, and particularly my good friend Todd Ritchie from Phoenix, Arizona, my gosh, man, he's an ultra distance runner, and has just done fabulously well with our CBD products. It helps him to recover, that he can continue to run on a regular basis without having all the downtime. Well, this is what we call delayed onset muscle soreness, etc. And Todd certainly has decreased many of his training times just because of taking our CBD products, and certainly we have great application here. But this phenomenon, when we all were young and experiencing this great bit of activity and maybe running long distances, many of us experienced this beautiful bliss-like feeling came through our bodies called the runner's high. And this is basically a release of the internal endogenous cannabinoid called anandamide. And here, our bodies do produce our own internal endogenous cannabinoids, but normally they're very quickly degraded by enzymes in the body, just a normal process. So we don't have this bliss-like feeling with us all the time. But we're in these elevated states and doing these great things. Certainly the release of this endogenous internal cannabinoid, anandamide, is so great that it overcomes the tendency for enzymes to degrade it, and thus many patients or people will experience this beautiful feeling of the runner's high. It does seem that CBD itself also seems to block some of the action of this enzyme that's involved with the degradation of anandamide. So many of us who are on CBD for many years are generally very happy and well-adjusted. And also, of course, mothers who become pregnant, their body chemistry changes, and the first food that they feed through their breast milk to the child very well expressed in cannabinoids. Now, I know we have a big program today, so some of my science and research could be cut a little bit short, but certainly on the Canaway webinar, the recent one from March 27th, there's a tremendous amount of science on there, and we look forward to getting into this so much more with you all. And I can't thank you all enough for the wonderful attendance coming out, being with us today, and certainly we look forward to a wonderful rest of the day today, and certainly look forward to seeing you all at many events, both nationally as well as internationally, upcoming here soon. So I believe my time is up. Let me turn back over to our home team here and see if we can get our folks up.